Right, this is day 2 of the 2-day brew day. So, I got to the point last night where I had to call it a day, so I chucked my porter in no chill cube and also had to have a bit of an overflow in the little fermenter because there was too much wort, which makes sense. So I'm going to put that on the boil this morning. However, in order to try and make up some lost ground, I'm going to do another brew today as well. Madness, I know. So I'm going to do another batch of Fecars 13. So I weighed out all the grains yesterday. That's there ready to go. I'm heating up the sparge water now for that. Going to get the mash on, boil this bad boy, and then this one, once it's boiled, I'm going to stick it in the no chill cube because I won't be able to ferment it at the moment. And also I need to do a yeast starter for the yeast as well because it's still currently in the freezer. So that'll probably go on in about a week, but obviously the longest time is having it. The longest thing is doing all the boil and the mash and everything. So if I get all that out of the way, then at a later date I just have to chuck it in the fermenter. So especially after old Cheshire Homebrew, Dave from Cheshire Homebrew, he had something in a no-chill cube for a couple of year or 2 years, and then he brewed it, he fermented it, and it was fine. So leaving it in there for a week won't be a problem. Okay, new special feature for Beer O'Clock Brewing, the mash can. So I'll finally show my mashing procedure without having to try and hold the camera at the same time. Not that it's particularly rocket science, but there we go. So, grain in a bucket. So put all the mash water in first. Chuck quite a lot in at first. The old doodah. Technical term. Mash paddle, technically it is, but it's not actually a paddle, it's a spoon with holes in. That does the job. So I used to do this really slowly with a jug. I used to get quite a few dough balls. But, again, I think I'm repeating myself, but you know what happens when you get old. Since I started doing 3 litres per kilo of grain, it's a hell of a lot easier to mash in. So I do that unless it starts getting to around a 6 kilo plus grain bill. Then I need to dial it down because the mash tun can't take that much. But for this it's fine. I can't remember how much grain I've got in this, for about 5 I think. Yeah, 5. Yeah, because there's I think 4.5 of Pilsner, then 500 Vienna, and then 60 of chocolate I think. Not even that much. I'll check the grain bill in a sec. Right, so you see it's quite wet, the mash, but I found my efficiency still pretty good. Generally getting about 80% efficiency, which I'm quite happy with. Okay, we're done. Whack the old thingy on. Oh, I haven't taken a pH reading actually. Do that. Bit too much really, I don't need to take that much. Chuck it back in. A bit more out. That'll do. Okay. So I'll leave this for 2 hours, and in the meantime I'm going to start boiling up that porter that I sparged last night. We'll wrap a bungee cord around that in a sec. Just to, I've got one here actually. mash tuns are insulated anyway, but it's really quite cold today, so it won't hurt just to have a little bit more insulation. There we go. Okay, time to boil up some beer. Right, anyone else confused now? Because I'm confused. So this is brew number 2 out of the 3 days. It's the American Porter. It's now heating up to boil. The pre-boil gravity sample after temperature correction is 1.037. Brew father should have been around 1.038, so pretty much spot on with that one. Happy with that. Volume seems okay. Brew number 3 is on. The mash is on, and brew number 1, the Mosaic Lager, is fermenting away. I haven't actually looked at it yet. Let's have a look if we can see much. I don't think you can see a lot. There's not a lot of head space. Let me put the light on. Can I put the light on? Let me try. Ooh. Right. Got a light on. Let's have a look under here and see what's going on. Okay, not a lot of activity yet, but I find with the Kvite yeast it can take a day. A lot of people say, oh yeah, it shoots off like a rocket in a minute, but I don't know, I find, shit the bed, it can take a day sometimes for me, which is fine. Alright, this is my colostomy bag here. Not really. So, this is the WLP 004 Irish Ale Yeast 4, brew number 3, which is in here. So, I did the old technique of getting boiled water, adding glycerin to it, and then putting the yeast slurry in there, putting it in the freezer. The idea of the glycerin is it doesn't completely freeze it, so ice crystals don't form and basically destroy the cells of the yeast. So I'm going to get that out, let that defrost for a bit, and then I'm going to make up a starter in my Meyer flask, which is up there. Got some malt extract in my grain tub, and yeah, we're going to make that up. Might do it a bit later, there's no rush because I won't be brewing it for a week or so. Well, fermenting it I should say. Okay, so it's quite funny actually, it's quite calm at the moment. I'm just waiting for the boil and the mash, so I might do a bit of clearing up. I'll see you at the first hop drop, I guess. Boil is on. 90 grams of Magnum, 30 grams of Magnum, even 90 grams, Jesus. Going in. Boom. Right. 10 minutes left, Irish moss going in. Wort chiller is in there as well. Nearly there. Right, flame out. Don't know if I said it was raining a bit, so I've moved into the garage, but I've got a little fan that blows the steam out. It's really good actually, because there's no condensation or anything in here, so it seems to work. Okay, so I need to cool this bad boy down now. Right, beer 2 in the fermenter. We're in the process of going in the fermenter. Looking like a nice colour, just what I wanted. Dark, but not black, see-through. Looking good. Right, so that is the second beer fermenting. I've got my ink bird hooked up here, and then the aquarium heater's in the heating section. Now the aquarium heater only actually goes up to 32, but I think the Kvite yeast will be okay at that temperature. I've got the reading set to 40. I don't know why, just in case it can get hotter. It will, but obviously it doesn't get too hot, so it's just like a safety. And also I've got the Wi-Fi on this, so you can just keep an eye on it just to make sure that everything's still holding a steady temperature. Wrapped a little blanket around it as well, the one that was on my mash tun, to keep it all insulated. Alright, it's time to drain that now and start sparging. Oh, a brewer's work is never done. Right, final gravity for this one. The porter is 1.043, plan was 1.045, so it's going to be about 0.2% ABV out, depending on how it ferments out, but that's still happy with that one. And now sparge water is heating up. for the third and final brew. Got a new addition now, the Sparge Cam. I'm really spoiling you guys this time. This video is cutting edge technology. So, I used to get quite technical when I did my sparging and making sure I got exactly 50-50. You know, half of the water in the first sparge, half of the water in the next. But, you know, it really doesn't matter. People get far too anal about things sometimes. So, by the way, sorry if anyone needs a toilet now. So, yeah. Alright, well, you've probably seen enough now. I will come back shortly. Alright, sparge water is up to temp. Mash water is pretty much done. I'm calling that done. It's time to whack the first lot of sparge water in. Right, here's the Hop House 13. Sorry. Here's the Feck House 13. Ran out of time in the end. Basically, I had to take my son to a swimming lesson. Got back, had to put the kids to bed, and then I had to do the last of the sparge in the boil when it was dark and there was no point in me filming. Couldn't really see anything. But it's all done. Original gravity was 1050, so it's going to come out about 4.7, which is not bad. So what's the verdict on the triple 3 brews in 2 days then? The verdict is, I don't know. I'm on the fence because the problem is I didn't have both days. I had stuff to do. Like, I didn't get started till late on the first day, and then had to come away and do stuff with the kids the second day. I did notice though I lost a lot of time because I only had the one boiler and stuff as well. You're putting the mash on, heating up mash water for one while you're then sparging the other one, and then you're losing a lot of time because that worked is cooling down, and then you're having to heat it back up, which takes forever. So I don't think I'm going to be in a hurry to do a double brew day again. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do next time. I think the problem is I need really to get a way of get my HLT back up and running, and get a way of being able to have them both on at the same time. Some kind of control panel I'm going to have to sort out at some point. But again, I don't really brew that much at the moment to warrant the expense. Probably the effort anyway. So I think for now I'll probably stick to overnight mash, and then the rest of the brew day the next day. I think that's probably my sweet spot at the moment. I'm starting to get a little bit out of my depth if I'm trying to do other stuff, and sometimes I was just sort of hanging around and not really knowing what to do with myself. So yeah, for now I think 1 brew per day. I said overnight mash, 1 brew the next day, that's it, done. I mean, it's good because I've got that other one in the no chill queue ready to go in about a week or so. I've got 2 fermenting. In fact, yeah, let's have a look at the 2 fermenting now. Come on, let's have a look. So here is the Friday night beer. Hard to see on camera, but it's fizzing away nicely. God, you can smell like the carbonation off it as well. That's doing really well. I will not bother taking a gravity read yet. It's only Tuesday, so I'll probably take one tomorrow or the day after. And the other one, let's have a look. Here she is. That's looking, yeah. Looks like it's nearly done. Jesus. It's quite low ABV beer. Bit of activity, yeah. leave them till tomorrow, do some gravity readings, and we'll go from there. Right, that's it then. Cheers, guys. See you later.